Hello, Leo. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your 2023 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will also be a timestamp in the description box if you would like to bypass the shuffling that I do. I would also like to remind you, Leo, because we are going to be going over so many things for the year, please do keep in mind that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. Let's jump in, Leo, and see what you've got going on for you this year. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Leo's theme for 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Leo in 2023. Tell us about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Leo in 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us about Leo's biggest asset, please, for 2023. Thank you. Tell us about what Leo will have an opportunity to learn in 2023. What will Leo have an opportunity to learn in 2023, please? What will Leo have an opportunity to learn? What will Leo have an opportunity to learn in 2023, please? I actually just heard the word patience, okay? So that might have something to do with what you're learning. Thank you. What does your soul want you to know, Leo, for 2023? What would Leo's... Okay, thank you. What does God want Leo to know for 2023, please? What would God like to tell Leo? Okay, thank you. And what is a blessing that Leo will have the opportunity to receive in 2023, please? Tell us about a blessing that Leo will have an opportunity to receive in 2023, please. Thank you. All right, let's get some tarot. All right, tell us more, please, about Leo's theme for 2023. Yes. Okay. Tell us more about a shift or an epiphany for Leo in 2023. All right. Tell us more about Leo's biggest asset, please. Tell us more about Leo's biggest asset for 2023, please. Tell us more about Leo's biggest asset for 2023. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Leo. Lots of things. Let's try that again. Nice, clear message for Leo, please. What is Leo's biggest asset for 2023? Tell us more. Tell us more, please. Leo's biggest asset for 2023. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Tell us more about what you will have an opportunity to learn. What will Leo have an opportunity to learn in 2023? Tell us more about that, please. Thank you. Tell us more about what Leo's soul would like them to know. Tell us more about what Leo's soul would like them to know for this year, 2023, please. Oh, those two there. Thank you. Tell us more about what God wants Leo to know for 2023. Tell us more about what God would like Leo to know. Thank you. How would you like? Yes. Okay. Tell us more about a blessing that Leo will have an opportunity to receive in 2023. Tell us more about. Okay. Thank you. There they are. All right, friends, let's jump in and see what you've got going on for you, Leo. All right, so your theme for 2023, imagine. I love this, Leo. I feel like, here's the thing, Leo. I feel like anything is possible for you this year, right? And it really feels like there's an element of, I really want to, how do I word this? It's like you stepping into the art of being you, learning how to manifest the reality that you want to, right? Imagining the possibilities. Because I feel like for some of you throughout your life, there could have been times where you've had these big dreams or you've shared these big dreams, these possibilities that you've, imagined, that you've created. And I feel like there could have been situations where people are like, yeah, okay, or like you dream too big, or that's too much, or that's never going to happen, or are you crazy, or something like that, right? I feel like the perspectives that you've had, they've been too something, right? Like too much, too big, too extravagant, too far out of reach, like something like that. And I feel like this year is really about you playing in that energy, right? Imagining the possibilities, because I feel like anything could happen. Anything could happen for you, Leo. What else do we have here? Wow. I am so shook right now. So shook right now. Leo, you have imagine and higher power. What's beautiful about this is I hope you can see that. I hope it's clear. This is the number 4, this higher power card. And the number 4 is about manifestations. So one of the meanings of number 4. I really feel, Leo, that again, anything is possible, because here's the thing. If you allow yourself to sit in that energy of, what is the word I'm looking for? Please. Envisioning, what is visualizing? Thank you, Lord, because it was not coming to me. If you like visualize, right? Again, play in your imagination and toy around with the things that you would maybe like to experience in your reality, right? I feel like if you can align your thoughts, your energy, your actions, your words, all with that vision, it's like God is standing behind you, like, hey, let's make things happen. You have these dreams, you have these visions of things that you want to bring forth, you want to create in your reality. Let's do it. Right? But okay, so interesting. There's the Page of Swords here as well, right? And the Page of Swords is this energy of essentially being like all talk type of thing, right? Let me look. I want to see in the guidebook what is the actual, like the author's actual intentions for this card in reverse. I'm very curious. But let me, before I open this though, I want to say, like, I feel like this is, Leo, about you like walking your talk, right? Like really putting into practice the things that you've learned over the course of several years, between 2 and 4 years. Right? I feel like it's like literally taking everything that you've learned and putting it into practice, like actually walking the walk, right? Or walking your talk, pardon me. Okay. So, like, see how she's on this little beam here between these two spaces, and she's reading and she has a light bulb. So, to indicate, right, that curiosity, that mental type of energy, that I'm learning things type of energy, right? That intelligent type of energy. And here it's in the reverse. Like she's standing there, right? And in the reverse, it's almost like, okay, like the things, right? But you're not moving in those things, if that makes sense. Let's see what, let's see if we can find it here. Give me just a second. I'm going to read the Shadow Seer definitions or keywords, if you will. Just share them with you. Okay. Yeah, you guys, you can't make this up. Okay, so it says here arrogance, gossip, nervous energy, being all talk and no action, dishonesty. I will read too. It says here avoid falling into gossip or even arrogance with your communication. In shadow, this page can be all talk and no action. Remember that everyone who crosses your path has something specific to teach you, and that mirrors are all around. Remain open to unexpected lessons, share truthfully, and delight in every interaction. Right? So, again, Leo, I feel like this year for you is, like I was saying, putting what you've learned into practice, right? Like, not just talking about it, but being about it. Beautiful. What is a shift or an epiphany taking place for you this year, Leo? Ooh, to be fair. Okay, so I just want to say right off the cuff, I feel like an epiphany that's taking place, first of all, is that there could be, again, like these truths coming out, right? In, right, that Page of Swords in the reverse, if you remember, dishonesty, being truthful, right? The to be fair card for me always reminds me of the justice in the tarot, right? She does have those scales on either side of her. And on the top of her head is an owl, right? To represent that wisdom. And in the tarot, right, the justice is that energy of truth, of law, of fairness, obviously, right? Also, like being balanced, okay? It is also, or can be also, about cause and effect, gaining clarity. Okay, so a shift or an epiphany for you, Leo, I do feel like there could be some truths coming out this year that give you those puzzle pieces to help to align you or balance you, right? Or to give you access to that wisdom, some sort of clarity or truth coming through for you this year. I also feel like there's an energy here of like the scales balancing, kind of like karma, really, right? Like I kind of feel like that could be a big shift for you, right? Like those karmic scales needing to be balanced, and perhaps you're on the receiving end of that, Leo. Maybe you've been building up a spiritual bank where you now have a nice little cushion you're sitting on, and the universe is about to pay it back, right? I feel like you'll know the truth, what resonates for you. This is the number 38, which does reduce to 11, which is in the tarot, the justice, right? But it's also an energy of like awakening. Um, Ones are also about new beginnings and things like this. And I just feel like there's some sort of shift that takes place where you could be moving from a space that honors truth, not just the truth of others, but the truth of yourself, right? As again, and as well, that cause and effect. Because it's interesting, because when I think of cause and effect, I'm reminded of this book that I've read, and it's the title is, oh my gosh, what is it? Lord Christ Returns, I believe. The author is anonymous, and essentially in the book, like Christ is saying, um, whatever you put out into the universe, into, whatever consciousness patterns you create, like it finds its way back to you, and we cannot avoid that, right? So that cause and effect, like that's really what I'm getting is, I think something that's going to be important for you this year, Leo, is paying attention to being in your truth. I feel like that's something that needs to be done all year round, right? Being in your truth every moment as you move through this year, as you navigate this year, right? Doing things from a space of fairness, from a space of clarity, from again, a space of truth, right? Because the effect of that is that stuff finding its way back to you, right? Truth finding its way back to you, fairness finding its way back to you, clarity finding its way back to you, right? All those sorts of things. What do we have here? Wow, the High Priestess in the reverse. Yeah, so again, right, very much like I was saying, the High Priestess in the reverse can be about like that loss of self or secrets, things like that, hidden things, not. not listening to your intuition, not listening to that inner voice, that higher wisdom, if, as it were, right? Divine wisdom. And so, again, I feel like you really, I mean, I feel like there's something here about, I don't even know what it is, Leo. And I'm not saying like you're a liar or you've been dishonest or unfair in any way, right? But I just feel like there's this element of like, I'm not hiding things anymore, right? I'm not repressing parts of myself anymore. Like, I'm going to show up in this life in all my glory, honoring my truth, very clear about who I am, right? With a sense of justice. And I don't mean that in the sense of like, you think you're better than anybody, or you're entitled to things over others or something, right? I just really feel like it's this element of like, I'm just not going to engage in things that aren't true for me, that don't align with these things that I want to experience in my reality, right? Like truth, like law, like clarity, right? I feel like this could be a really powerful year for you, Leo. And here's the thing, I also feel like there could be this, it feels like, again, like this beautiful unfolding, right? Like this realization that you are a work of art, and contributing or focusing a lot of your time and energy on practicing the art of being you, like wholly and fully you, right? See what your biggest asset is. Look at this. This is the number 22 with blessed. You do have, so you have the 20 out here with Imagine, which reduces to 2. We have the High Priestess, which again is 2. And now we have blessed with 22. So you could be seeing 2s repeated this year. But I think your biggest asset, first of all, is knowing that you're blessed. And I don't mean that by what you have, right? I'm not talking about the things that you could stack up to show somebody, or you could quantify visually, right? It is one of those things, like your biggest asset is knowing that you are blessed in exactly who you are. That the person that you are, the truth of who you are, is one of the biggest blessings. Being alive is such a blessing, right? I just feel there's this huge amount of gratitude coming through. And I feel like that's going to be one of your biggest assets, is moving through each and every moment from this space of, I am blessed. What is this? The Three of Cups in the reverse. Okay. So Three of Cups in the reverse can be like isolation, right? Um, and here's the thing, I feel like, let's be real, part of your asset is likely understanding like you are blessed on your own, like you don't need other people to fulfill that for you. Does that make sense? Right? And that's not to say that we don't like or appreciate community or friendship. That's not to say that we don't, how do I word this? Yeah, we're not meant to be like an island on our own, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I feel like this year you discover that you are your biggest asset all by yourself. Like you're blessed all by yourself. You are a whole ass gift, Leo, all by yourself, right? That's how I'm seeing this. And I feel like that's where you find your happiness, right? Is within yourself, that the blessing that is you living and breathing and being here and being who you are every single day, right? I feel like for some of you, it's been a blessing for you throughout 2022. And it's interesting, right? Like, it's interesting that I picked that up. Um, I feel like throughout 2022, you could have spent a lot of time alone. And I feel like God was protecting you, right? Like, I feel like God was like, okay, we don't need to be around these gossipy people who, okay, because in the reverse, like this can be gossip, it can be like overindulgent type of energy. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like God was like, you don't need to be around all that type of stuff. Pardon me. And I feel like this brought up fears for you because I feel like in 2022, maybe you did feel very isolated. Maybe you did feel very lonely. Maybe you did feel like, maybe there's something wrong with me or something, right? But I feel like it's like, no, God's like, I'm protecting you because I'm keeping you away from these people who are not for you, these groups who are not for you. I also feel like it's important for you to understand something, Leo, because I do feel like for some of you, you are going to step into that like season of blessings, right? Where things are showing up for you. And I feel like God spent all that time keeping you away from people in 2022. And even for some of you, maybe even before that, because these blessings could start showing up. And God's like, we don't want all these phonies, all these fakes around you when things start coming in, right? So I'm just sharing that with you. And if for some reason, right, you're like, that's not my story currently, right? Like this could be something that shows up for you throughout 2023, right? Where you could potentially find yourself being isolated, right? From groups, from friendships, communities, you name it, right? And I want to lovingly say that obviously use your discernment, use your intuition, but it could be that if you find that being true for you, it's because God is like, no, listen, sweets, we got to keep you away from these people because they're not for you. They're not in alignment with your blessings and where you're going, right? And like I said, Leo, you're a whole ass gift on your own, right? And I'm not saying that to stroke your ego. Like I'm saying that because let's just call a freaking spade a spade. Like you are the sun, Leo, right? And I know, like, egoically speaking, sometimes that can run away with you, but at the end of the day, that's the whole freaking personality that you're meant to be bringing forward to some degree, right? Is the one of leadership and vitality and purpose. Okay, so I'm just saying, you let me know. How do you feel about that in the comments? Are you like, excuse me, I'm the sun? Yes. Right? Or are you like, no way? I mean, because here's the thing, like I'm a Leo sun, Leo moon, and there are times that I am in that Leo type of energy where I'm like, yeah, I'm a whole ass gift, type of thing. But I'm somebody who's very, very humble, right? Like I don't take compliments well. I don't like being in crowds or in front of people. Like I don't mind talking to people, right, at all, but I don't like the spotlight being on me necessarily. And I know, like, obviously um our chart contributes, right? So there's that. But I just it's not something that comes from a place of arrogance. It just comes from a place of certainty, right? Of just knowing and having the courage to be what that is. So, what do you have an opportunity to learn, Leo? We have a couple of cards here. So, we do have Yang, which is interesting because here's the thing, Leo, you're a masculine energy. Let's just be real, right? Or are more like dominant, right? That Leo energy is masculine. And here's the thing, what I feel, right? You might have an opportunity to learn, right? And this could be something that is challenging or difficult to face. I feel like there could be something there with that more natural masculine energy. I feel like part of it is like bringing things into the physical, right? That could be challenging. And that is the masculine energy, right? It is to actually bring forth said things that we're trying to manifest, bring into fruition into the physical world. But that natural masculine energy, right, is very confident. And it's interesting because this is very much like Leo energy, okay, obviously. But it's very confident. There's a lot of inner strength there, a lot of focus. There's support, stability, right, conviction, clarity, um, feeling very capable and certain or assertive, right? Again, having courage, but also being able to maintain boundaries and being, what is the word I'm looking for? Being able to maintain boundaries, right? And provide protection. Like it's this whole healed masculine energy. And I feel like this is something you could be experiencing throughout 2023, right? Stepping into that more natural or healed masculine. I want to lovingly say, um, there are parts of my masculine energy that I've had to learn how to, I don't even know how to word it, like I've had to heal, that I've had to learn how to exhibit in a more natural fashion, or to understand more that is more natural versus being, in a shadow or wound. And some of these things are like being very critical of myself or avoidant of my emotions, sometimes wanting to control the situations, that sort of thing. So I feel like this is something that we have an opportunity to learn, Leo, right? Is to be more in that natural masculine state, to kind of be reborn through that energy, is how I'm seeing this. Let's check out the Wisdom of the Oracle guidebook here for this card. What do we want to read here? Which message, please? Okay, so I'm going to read to you the meanings of this card, and then I feel like we should do the protection message. I don't know why. I don't even know if I've ever even read that message for this card, to be truthful. But I feel like for whatever reason, it is the one we're meant to be reading. So give me a moment to just dive into the book here and find it. Okay. So the meanings are the masculine principle of movement and creative activity, the power to make things happen and taking action, which is interesting, right? Because we do have that essentially like walk the talk, right? Don't just talk about it, be about it. Very similar, right? So part of that lesson, I feel, is to bravely face those things. So the protection message is: be mindful of the tendency towards impulsive action, overconfidence, and aggressive behavior. All of that is also very masculine, right? Wounded or shadow masculine. Think before you act, lest you find yourself in a situation that will lead to uncomfortable consequences. Be sure you really want what you're chasing after, because you might be sorry when you get it. The appearance of this card isn't cause for fear, for life is all about learning lessons. Practice temperance, diplomacy, and thoughtful consideration before making a move, right? Which is fascinating because with your epiphany here, right, or your shift, we have that to be fair, which again is about honoring truth, right? Also like doing things from a space of like what goes around comes around, and being fair, right? So all of these things are showing up, and I feel like it's all kind of meshing in with the same, right? Being able to kind of slow down this year, right? And really be paying attention, being very intentional about what you're doing, right? And I do feel like a big part of that is the fact that you can manifest these things too, right? I feel like this is part of this as well, right? Whatever you're imagining, whatever you're putting your energy, your thoughts, your words, your actions into, higher power, God, universe, source, whatever you want to refer to it as, is assisting you to bring those things into fruition, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, and whether you're being intentional about it or not, right? So I feel like this is that energy of being very intentional. What else do we have here? You have another card, why. We have the why card as well. So we do have the number 1 with the yang card, and now we have the number 31 with why, which reduces to 4. So that's another 4 energy showing up for you. You could be seeing that this year. Here's the thing. I feel like one of the things that you have the opportunity to learn or face is like, again, like slowing down with that yang energy, with a protection message that we read, right? And asking yourself, why? I feel like that's going to prevent you from making those impulsive decisions, Leo. And I feel like this is going to be helpful for you to learn throughout this year. Now, it could be challenging because you want to just go get the things and do the things and have the things, right? But sometimes there's this need to slow down, to be patient, right? And to take a look at why we want what we want, right? Why are we trying to bring these things into our reality? And again, like the Yang card said, be careful because you might just get what you ask for. So that why card showing up is, it's again that like, be intentional. Know the motives behind what you're doing, and are they motives that are fair, that are honoring truth, right? It's going to be important. I'm telling you, it's going to be important. And again, it doesn't matter whether you want to acknowledge it or admit it. It doesn't matter. The laws, the universal laws are still the same, and you will still be manifesting into your reality whatever it is you're sitting in energetically, what you're talking, what you're walking, all of the things, right? So again, be very intentional, Leo, as you're moving this year, and don't be quick to make decisions. Take your time. People will wait. The world will wait. So from the tarot, look at you. We have the King of Swords bringing forth that truth again, right? So I cannot tell you. Make sure you know why you want what you want. And I feel like one of those biggest lessons is aligning with that truth constantly, intentionally, over and over and over again, choosing that truth, whatever that is for you. Okay? Being disciplined about being intentional and truthful. Okay? Damn, the King of Wands, Leo, how are you going to show up for yourself in the reverse? I'm just kidding. It's so funny though, right? Why is it funny, Amber? Because the King of Wands in the reverse is impulsive. He puts impossible expectations on himself, on other people. He's overbearing. It's like, right? Classic Leo if they're feeling some type of way. Right? And it's interesting again because there's this energy of not being in that shadow or wounded masculine energy where you are pressuring people, where you're overbearing, where you're making impulsive decisions and you don't even know why you're doing them, right? Six of Pentacles in the reverse as well. So Six of Pentacles here, I mean, that's power and domination, which is very similar to that overbearing type of energy with that King of Wands, right? So I feel like, again, this is going to be, a challenge. It's going to be a lesson, Leo, where it's like sit in your truth, honor your truth, whatever that is for you, that's fine. Stay in that space, but don't be impulsive. Don't be quick to jump the gun. Make sure you know why you're doing what you're doing or why your truth is what it is, right? Or why you're sitting in that space and move accordingly, right? Don't be that overbearing person who's trying to, how do I word this? Who's trying to like hold this power over people and essentially like force what you feel or what you believe onto other people. Like I feel it's interesting. Maybe that won't apply to everyone. Maybe that won't resonate with everyone about like trying to control situations and like make them go the way you want them to go. But it feels like there's something there. And I feel like this Six of Pentacles, right? It's like the energy of like giving and receiving. And it's like there's this energy of like make sure you're sitting in your truth and you're not being impulsive or overbearing or lying or anything like that, because it will find its way back to you, right? Again, know your why. It's going to be a big thing for you, Leo, and coming back to that repeatedly, right? Coming back to that moment of truth repeatedly, consistently asking yourself, why am I doing this? Like what kind of motivation lies behind what I'm doing, right? Am I trying to control a situation? Am I being or am I putting these impossible markers up for myself or for other people to try to reach? Am I trying to make things what I want them to be? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I love that as a lesson, Leo. Let me just say, I really do. What does your soul want you to know, Leo, for this year? So you have Thinker, which is interesting because you have the Y as well. And here's 44 showing up as well. So again, with the fours, right? It could be something that you see. Oh, yep. Okay. Thank you, Lord. I just heard what you think about, you bring about. And it's been a reoccurring theme throughout your reading for this year, Leo, right? Like, I just feel like for some of you, maybe many of you, you are in this powerful space where you're aligning with that soul truth, right? And I feel like some of you, it's literally like your soul wants you to know, hey, you have the ability to bring things into this world, and you need to know that. You need to be cautious, be mindful, and intentional about, again, what you're putting your energy into, who you're allowing access to your energy, what you're doing, right? Making sure that you're being truthful, not hiding things, not anything. Okay. And I'll share with you guys, and you can take this how you want. Apply it to your life as you choose, or don't. It's completely up to you. But in the book I mentioned, Christ Returns, essentially, Jesus says you should not lie, not even a white lie, right? Like, not even a white lie. All that stuff finds its way back to you, right? So, again, being very clear, very truthful about where you're at and why you're doing what you're doing. So, I just feel like your soul's saying, like, what you think about, you bring about. And sometimes, Leo, there can be, at least in my experience, as a Leo sun, Leo moon, there's times I overthink like nobody's business. Okay, don't get me wrong, I am a Capricorn rising, so it kind of comes with the territory a bit, but nonetheless, right? Like, I can get wrapped in my own thoughts a whole bunch. We also have a message in a bottle here for you, Leo. Okay, so I am getting a message. I was talking about what you think about, you bring about. I feel like for some of you, you literally manifest some sort of message you've been waiting for, and your soul wants you to know it's on the way. Right? I feel like this could be something showing up that you've been, like, see what I'm saying? Like, you've been waiting. She looks like she's been waiting for this bottle for like a really long time. Right? And when I think of a message in a bottle, right, you send that message out, and it's probably going to be quite a significant amount of time, unless you're incredibly lucky, right? If you put it out to sea, that it's going to find its way to someone who is eventually going to find their way to you, hopefully. Right? So I just feel like there's something here, like your soul saying, like, maybe there's something you've been thinking about, some sort of answer, or maybe this is something that happens throughout 2023, right? Maybe you are thinking about a lot of things, waiting for some sort of answer, some sort of call. Or like I said, maybe you have been waiting prior to 2023, and then that essentially that message in a bottle shows up. Maybe it's been something that's been weighing on your mind, and it just kind of makes an appearance out of nowhere. Let's see what the tarot says. It'll give us a little more clarity. So we have the Six of Cups in the reverse, which I think is beautiful. Okay, because Six of Cups in the reverse is really about that independence, really about moving forward, right? So I feel like your soul's saying, like, hey, we're leaving some of these things in the past. Okay, we're moving forward, right? Oh, there we go. Let's get that. I feel like, oh, that's interesting too, because the message in a bottle is a 6. If we reduce it, it's 15. We reduce it to 6. And then we have the Six of Cups. I feel like for some of you, there's something that has either been following you around since childhood that you've spent a lot of time thinking about, and maybe have prayed about, or whatever, sought, from God, some sort of remedy or solution. Maybe that's what finds its way back to you for some, right? I don't know why. It's weird. I've never really, to the best of my recollection, gotten anything like that with these cards before. Especially with that Six of Cups, but it really feels like for some of you, there could be something that you've been waiting for since you were young, right? And I feel like for some, it could be showing up, and you can now move forward, right, from whatever that thing is, or maybe something's been holding you back from moving forward. But really, Leo, I feel like there could be something you've been waiting for, right? Something that allows you to now move forward, something that has been weighing heavy on your mind, right? Something you have likely spent a significant amount of time thinking about, again, and maybe even praying about. Yeah, thank you, Lord. I just got this energy of, like, let's read the message in a bottle card. First, let's turn this over. Yeah, we have the Five of Wands here as well. So it's interesting. Six of Cups with the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is a card of conflict often. It's also looked at as like training, right? Preparing for something, right? Like you're being prepared. And so perhaps, that's something that maybe that's why something took so long to find its way to you, right? Um, Essentially saying like you had to be prepared for this. Like we couldn't just throw you into that. There had to be a preparation. But let's read this message in a bottle. Which message should we oracle? Okay, thank you. All right, let me find it, and then we will go ahead and read this for you, Leo. So it says communication, a sign. I don't know if I'm going to say this properly, but a Claydon, the ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by the speaker. So I call that a dumb channel, right? It's essentially when you're talking to someone and they say something and you're like, oh gosh, yeah, I needed to hear that right now, actually. Okay. But it's pointing the way to your highest good. So again, right, it's like something that comes in through someone you're just having a conversation with. It can be a friend, a family member, a stranger at the grocery, whatever. And it's just they say something and they may have no idea. Like I said, maybe it's a stranger. You don't know them from anybody. And they just say something and there's something within you that clicks and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, right? So the oracle message says, Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them. When you believe, you will receive them. And when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. Oh. So just between the oracle cards, the thinker, and this message in a bottle, for some of you, maybe you've been getting signs for some time and you've just sat on them for too long. Okay? I don't know why I need to say that, but it says, they may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your query. Today, your message is this: Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. I mean, yeah, right? That's the kind of energy I was getting. Okay. And again, maybe you've been thinking on something, right? Maybe you've been thinking it's not going to show up, it's never going to happen, right? Maybe you've been experiencing conflict and fighting with yourself about what you feel to be true, right? Or something along those lines. I'm getting fear. Yeah, maybe you've been thinking like, oh, this isn't going to happen, right? Maybe you've struggled to believe and you think Spirit just left you high and dry. So I'm going to read to you the Light Seer little keywords or upright words for this Five of Wands. It says competition, conflict, ambition, challenge, being pushed by others to excel, brainstorming, mental jousting, adrenaline and aggression, surpassing limits, dynamic energy, and leveling up. Yeah, so kind of like what I was saying, like training for something. Here's the thing. I feel like you're really just moving forward, Leo, right? I feel like the things that you're thinking about, that you're asking for, I feel like they could start showing up. You could be surprised. Here's the thing. The Six of Cups is moving forward, right? And we just read those keywords, and I'm so glad I did, because for the Five of Wands, which is saying you're leveling up. And I really feel like your soul's saying that to you, right? You're leveling up. The way you think is changing. The way you talk to Spirit and the things you ask for and your expectation of them and all of that sort of stuff, I feel like is changing. I feel like you're moving on, right? I feel like you're moving into a different energy, leveling up. And I feel like you're going to see this through some of these things showing up in your reality. These signs, these symbols, I feel like you're going to get confirmation about a lot of things. I feel like Spirit's going to be chatting your ear off all year, Leo. Your soul is sending you things all year, Leo, right? Talking to you. The question is, are you going to be paying attention, right? Are you going to be looking for them? Because I feel like it's going to be a whole new ball game for some of you, like a serious leveling up, right? What does God or source universe want you to know? Go the distance. This is the number 47 for those of you who are, curious about these numbers, and they could mean something to someone, right? Here's the thing. What God wants you to know is that this is a marathon, not a sprint. It's really what I'm getting here. It's about taking care of yourself. It's about slowing down, right? Getting introspective, which makes sense because, first of all, the number 4 up here with the higher power, in addition to manifestations, is about foundations and stability and endurance, right? And I feel like, God is saying, like, it's important for you to take care of yourself. It's important for you to be creating these foundations, creating stability, and enduring all of these things that you're experiencing, right? And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is if you slow down, as well as falling in line, right, with that universal 7 year that is 2023, right? Being about introspection, being about reflection and spirituality, right? So I just feel like there's this energy of like slowing down, right? Knowing again that you're in this for the long haul, that it's a marathon, right? And that it's not about who gets there the fastest. It's really not. And why would you want to? Because getting there fast or arriving at our destination as human beings means you're no longer here, right? So why would you want to rush that? Enjoy the experience, enjoy the ride. Oh, isn't that interesting? There's also chaos and conflict here. Leo, I think you're just starting. I feel it's like if I don't know how to say this. I'm just going to kind of completely, I don't want to say completely, but I'm going to ignore that chaos and conflict right now. And I would just want to draw your attention to the picture on that card. Okay. Because the way that I'm seeing this is, what does God want you to know? You are just beginning to scratch the surface of the truth of who you are. Right. So it's like, it's important for you to be able to endure. It's important for you to create stable foundations, to manifest these sorts of things into your reality by being able to stay with it. Does that make sense? Because it's like, here is this zebra with the chaos and conflict card, right? And it looks like it's covered in giraffe hide, and that is slowly kind of floating away or dissolving or something to reveal the zebra. And I feel like there is, which is interesting because if you look, the cheetah's doing something similar there, the tail end. And I feel like I got the message almost as soon as I flipped it over of like, you've only just begun. You really have only just begun to experience everything that you are, right? To really get down to that layer that is just you, right? It's not you and your wounding and your trauma and your programming and all the things stacked up on it, however many years of life you've had on this planet. No, it's, getting down to who you truly are. And that takes endurance, that takes time, right? And I feel like that's what God's saying here. The chaos and conflict card is the number 33. So you could be seeing that number, right? Or it could be important to you in some way, shape, or form. What do we have here? The 9 of Cups. Yeah. Look, here's the thing about the 9 of Cups. Like, the 9 of Cups is like universe granting you your manifestations or gifting you your manifestations. It's also about satisfaction, right? And here, like, true joy, right? All of your cups being full just from you. You know what I'm saying? Like, sure, the universe might gift us thing, but it's like, like I said, I'm a whole freaking treasure chest by myself, a whole gift by myself, right? I don't need a person to make me feel fulfilled or satisfied, right? And I feel like there's the message here of like, listen, the key is to endure as you peel back these layers of who you are and watch the things that you like, and watch all these things that you want to experience, this satisfaction, this fulfillment, watch it start to come in, right? It's, oh, thank you, Lord. I just got this energy or this message of like the proof is in the pudding, right? So it's like if you start to walk the talk, it's like you'll see these things happening. If you're willing to endure, if you're willing to allow the layers to peel back, right? Endure the chaos and conflict of unbecoming, as it were, you will find that fulfillment, that satisfaction, and those gifts that replace that, right? Does that make, I hope that makes sense. Those gifts will come in. It's beautiful, Leo. I love it. I love it for you. Absolutely glorious. Okay. And finally, for you for 2023, Leo, what are some blessings that you'll have the opportunity to receive? You do have two cards here. The first is a fork in the road. So here's the thing, Leo, about this card. If you look closely, and it's interesting because this has been showing up in my membership readings a lot. If you look at this card here with the fork in the road, there's this alpaca or llama or whatever he is. I'm not a zoologist, you guys, I apologize. But he's got a saddle on his back that has the oracle's face. He's got a owl on his, sitting on the saddle. There's an apple there. And I don't even know if that is what it is. It kind of looks like a turtle. It's probably not. But it reminds me of a turtle anyways. And turtles are this representation of like ancient wisdom. But if you look, right, he has all those things. And there's this monkey up there who's got like this mask on, right? Which would indicate to me some kind of trickery or cunning. And I feel like the message here, the blessing that you have is that you have all of the knowledge, the wisdom that you need within you, right? Or you have everything you need to be able to make decisions throughout this year. And decisions that are best for you, that are in alignment with what you want, what you desire, what you need, right? The oracle is on the saddle. The owl, which represents wisdom, is on the back there. The apple is up there, which for me, right, some may attribute, or when you think of the apple, maybe you think of Adam and Eve, right, in the Garden of Eden, or maybe you think of like teachers, right, and wisdom. Either way, it's the apple. So I feel like the blessing that you have the opportunity to receive is to trust yourself, Leo. Trust yourself. Trust that you have everything that you need to be able to make any decision that you need to progress forward, to continue to raise your vibration, right? And here, the fork in the road, if you didn't notice, is the number 13, which reduces to 4, which is also the number of this card here, higher power. Again, you have everything you need. You are so freaking supported, Leo. And if you can't see that through this, like I feel like maybe you should pray or something. Right? What other blessings you have? Clean it up. Okay, so for some of you, I feel like some people may be getting the boot out of your life, but I feel like it's a choice. Right? Some people, situations, experiences, perhaps even your home or car or something, garage, I don't know what it is. I feel like there's some choices, right? So it's like a blessing you'll have the opportunity to receive. I feel like you have everything you need within you to make choices to clean up your act, your environment, your friend circle, your family circle, your job, your home, your everything. You know exactly what choices you need to make in order to clean up your environment, your energetic environment, your emotional environment, your physical environment, your mental environment, right? I'm just saying. And that's a blessing, because what does it do, Leo? When you clean things out, you make room for other things, right? God's like, oh, you got some space in your closet? Let me help you with that, right? From the tarot, 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Right? So 2 of Pentacles in the reverse is that energy of, first of all, being imbalanced, and second of all, being overwhelmed. right? Trying to juggle the many facets of who you are and not being able to do so, struggling to do so, right? Um, I want to lovingly say, right? Fork in the road, clean it up. First of all, twos are about choices. Number one. Number two, um, again, there's the energy of overwhelm or being out of balance, right? So a blessing that you have the opportunity to receive is to choose to get rid of anything that causes you imbalance or overwhelm, or anything that makes you question yourself, right? Like, because again, it's balancing the many facets of yourself. And the way that I've experienced reading this card, or my perception of it rather, is essentially there's this spiritual side of you, which I see here as this more transparent pentacle, and there's the physical part of you, right? And you're balancing the two of them, right? Finding some common ground between those two spaces. In the reverse, it's like that's not happening, right? So get rid of anything that is preventing that from happening, right? Preventing you from feeling safe and comfortable in these things, in your spirituality. In, oh, sweet Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Oh my gosh, Leo. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, a blessing you'll have the opportunity to receive. Look at what the heck just showed up. The frickin' world, fulfillment, completion, harmony. What? And again, it's the number 21, which is the same number as this clean it up card. So, literally, the blessing you have the opportunity to receive is choosing to clean up your space, choosing to make room, if you will, choosing to move away from or clean up things that leave you feeling imbalanced or overwhelmed, leading you to that fulfillment, that completion, and that harmony that you have been seeking. This is absolutely glorious. Leo, I am so excited for you. And hell yes, for that repeating 2121. If you see that, right, throughout this year, like that 2121, like that's a big sign for you, right? A big sign. It could be that clean it up, right? So that you can have those spaces fulfilled, right? Clean it up so you can bring harmony into your world, literally. And I feel like that's the blessing, right? The blessing is moving away from or choosing to walk away from, again, anything that brings you any sort of overwhelm or disharmony or imbalance or what have you, drama, right? Like, nope, we ain't got time for it. We're trying to imagine the future. We're trying to sit in our truth. We're trying to, endure all of these changes that we're experiencing and manifest all of these beautiful, amazing things into our reality. I don't have time for your fuckery. I don't have time for you traipsing through my energy, my life with your muddy ass boots. Go do some shit, go do some healing, and then come back if that's what you want to do. But for now, I'm going to have to ask you to exit stage left. Right? I don't know. Take it how it resonates with you, Leo. This has been absolutely amazing. I have enjoyed this reading so much. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your time and energy with me. I am truly so very grateful for you. If something in this reading resonated for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, and or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow. It tells YouTube that there could be something here for others to see, and so they push it out into the algorithm, and I'm so very grateful for that. Thank you so much again for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I hope that your 2023 is as powerful as you are, right? I hope you embody all of the power that you are, Leo, for this year. And I hope you see your light explode into the cosmos, into the ethers, and you soak up every glorious second. Take care of your beautiful soul, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.